I don't give sermons on Yom Kippur. I don't think it's improper. I'm sort of a hypocrite. We have the same type of sin that we do all the time. We'd say we're not going to get angry. We'll be nicer to the kids and to the wife. Okay, whatever it is. And then you think back, and as Yom Kippur is approaching, you realize, did I really hold myself to the standards I promised myself this year? I said I wouldn't fall into that usual avera. What's another one? Shmiras Hayinayim. Okay, that's a very hard one, right? But that's one that's the most common for men. And just being in the street or whatever, you have access to things that said disconnect from the internet. So every year you read through that Tefillah Zaka, and you're like, well, did I really live up to the same? Because you said it, right? And what else are you going to do on Yom Kippur? You're going to confess. So sometimes you say the long version of Vidui, and that Tefillah Zaka is basically a form of Vidui. So you read these things and other ones, and you're like, do I really live up to those standards? And you're saying, oh, at least there's Yom Kippur again. So how many times God would say, like, can you imagine if God would tell you one Yom Kippur and say, the last 30 Yom Kippurs, you pleaded for me and you confessed, but you didn't hold up to what you said you were going to do. Why is this Yom Kippur going to be different? He says, yeah, because this time I'm really going to try. Yeah, so think about that. We pray that one day we could actually look back and say, yeah, we held ourselves, we took it upon ourselves to do something. It's very easy to take upon ourselves to, let's say, do something positive. Like, you know what? I'm going to spend some time in the base matter every single day or a certain amount of hours a week. So that's a positive thing to do. Or I'm going to give, many people do, I'll give tzedakah here and there as well. They make it easy for you. They tell you to write a standing order. You guys have Israeli bank accounts? You know what a standing order is? Turns out Horakeva, that's what they call it. I never heard of it until I came to Israel. They call it Horakeva because all over the place, everything you do has to have a Horakeva. In America, it exists, but it's not demanded of you for anything. Paying tuition to schools or even tzedakahs, what do, they tell you Horakeva means standing order. You tell your bank to take money from your account on a regular basis and give it to X. So the tzedakah fund, let's say the local soup kitchen. So you give them a Horakeva, means you sign a form telling your bank to deduct 60 shekels from your account every single month and give it to that soup kitchen. That's a standing order. So for many people, that's how they do their tzedakah. They sign an 18 shekel horak keva to this, and an 18 shekel horak keva to that. And thank God they have a portfolio of horak keva. A lot of people have that. And that's how they give their tzedakah. So doing positive, taking upon positive is something you could do. Taking upon to actually keep the aver, actually not do the averas, the avera that you know that you're up to, kaas and gaiva, averas of the midos averas, the most difficult midas, and the ones that the Rambam says you have to have the most, you have to be the most extreme away from those. You have to take the opposite approach. You cannot have any arrogance, or haughtiness, as it says, or pride in biblical Hebrew is Gaon Yaakov, the pride of Jacob, the same shoresh, Gimel Aleph Vav or Hey. So you're not supposed to have those. And how well are we succeeding with those? The Mashgiach tells you all the time, every year. Are we really improving ourselves? I don't know. A guy like you probably never get angry. You look like you never get angry. Okay. Some people in mamash never get angry, and the rest of us, it's our, it's something we have to work on. And if you're not angry all the time, it's because you're staying away from your family. When people are away from their immediate family, and they save their anger. This is the funniest thing. Remember hearing Rabbi Weinberg talk about this. Rabbi Weinberger in H Kodesh mentioning, right, kaas. They save their kaas for when in their own house. They save it for their wives, their children, their siblings, their parents. That they'll show kaas too, and that's when they'll allow it to come out. Wow, it's some strangers around the house. Ever publicly. That's what most have a problem with. So we have problems with these things, basically. Okay. Yeah. Everybody has their issues. So we want to work on our issues. And God's not slamming the door. He's actually been quite good because, I'm older than you. And yeah, it happens. The Yom Kippurs add up, and then you look at yourself in the mirror and you say, I live up to this thing. It's very difficult. Thank God for Yom Kippur. Thank God. As you can remind us, you have many chances. Was it Rabbi Nachman said, Kol she'er dolek if Charlotte came? As long as the candle's burning, you could fix it. Right? You're still alive, you can still fix it. It's an amazing thing.